What's up YouTube, Jamie here, and I want to give you some tips on Depop. I've been on Depop for a few years now, and I find it one of the best apps to use to find clothes, to sell clothes, to just be part of like a fashion community. I feel like it's one of the best apps I've used. So my Depop is at James Francis SS. I'll put a link down in the description. But I've been on it for quite a while now, so it's kind of like Instagram, so you can get likes for clothes that you put up, but also it's like eBay as well. So you've got the selling aspect of it, so you can have your own kind of shop going on. So a bit like eBay, but much better. I find that the people there know what they're doing. They know what they're talking about. You've got a great audience and a great consumer there that knows what they want to buy. And I find that it can be quite quick once you start getting followers. So yeah, actually, like Instagram, you'll start getting followers. So you start building up your following, and that's just a case of just like keep posting stuff up. That's the way you get followers. And it's a bit like just with Instagram as well. If you put pictures up all the time, you'll slowly start getting followers. But with Depop, you just got to start selling more. So you've got to put more clothes up there, and once people realize that you know what you're doing, you know that you know your shit, and you've got a nice kind of shop, then you know you're winning. So the best thing to do is to get a good camera. I feel that I was getting alright shots in iPhone. I was using iPhone for quite a while, and there is kind of ways that you can make an iPhone photography look good. You can do like tweaks in production afterwards and get kind of just like change the levels. I'm just doing like simple changes, like just changing the contrast and the brightness, just to give it a little bit of an edge, just to me, like just doing a standard shot on my iPhone. But I found that once you upgrade to a new camera, and you get a proper kind of camera, so I've got a Fujifilm X70 that I've been using, and it's just absolute game changer. Like the depth of field and the colouring and the way the pictures come out and the focus, it's just so much better than using an iPhone. But if you're on the cheap, use the iPhone, it's still doable. There's a lot of Depoppers out there that just use iPhone strictly, and they're doing really well on it. But I find if you've got a good camera, and it also, like, if you have a good like kind of creative eye, if you just feel like with Depop you've got to stand out, because now it's getting very saturated. Like there wasn't as many people on it before, but now you've got a lot of competition. There's a lot of great Depoppers on there doing great shops, and like very professional as well, like super professional. Like they're super stepping up, so you have to kind of go along with it, and you kind of have to find your own kind of niche, you know, little look, so you can stand out. And I feel like as a community, like everyone's there to support each other. Everyone's there to provide comments on how you're doing. Everyone will give you feedback on your products, and also give you feedback on your page if you ask for it. So, and also Depop in general is a great kind of app to go to if you. It's a great kind of, with eBay I feel like you're kind of separated from the website, like you're kind of just a seller and they're a business. But with Depop I find that they're more willing to join you and more willing to help you. Like they have this explore page that you go to first. So the first time you boost up the app and you get into it, like there's an explore page, so you get to check all kind of the new stuff that's coming on and all features. And if you drop a word to Depop, or Depop can see that you're doing well and can see that you are just putting some really good kind of effort into your pictures and things, they will feature on it, and that's how you get a quick sell. Like people will see it straight when they open the app. If you're not on that, people have to search for your stuff, like, which is still doable. It's still, you know, it's still achievable to find things, because people will find your stuff, but it's so much easier if you have good pictures, a good shop, good stock, always stocking up, and that's the way you start to get a big following, and that's where you start to make the money. I find that I'm at a level now where I need to start getting more stock in, so it's a case of going down to the car boot sales. It's a case of going to the vintage shops. If you go to vintage shops, ask them if they got any wholesalers, and also it's just worth just looking around the internet for wholesalers in general. Like you'll find with Depop that no one wants to give away their secrets, and it's fair enough. Like people have their wholesaler contacts, they have people that they're getting cheap stock from. Of course they're not going to tell you about it, but it's all about networking, it's all about just conversation, getting some ideas on how you're going to approach it. I find that I live in London at the moment. I live in East End of London, and it's so saturated with people that are into clothes there that I find it so difficult to find some bargains. Like I'll go to charity shops and it's absolute bullshit. There's just nothing in there, and I top my hat off to someone who's like in London, they're still finding like cheap clothes and vintage clothing that's actually affordable. And it's a case of, even if you find it affordable, you still got to be able to sell it. So, you know, a lot of times I've contacted wholesalers and they've gone, right, you can pay £100 and you'll get 10 items. but I can't pick what they are. I don't know what they're going to be. They're just going to send it over, and it could just be a whole stock of Levi stuff. Like, Levi stuff sells really well, but if you're just given loads of shit that's not even a good style, that's not good quality, that's not the fit that's kind of in at the moment, if it's just a bit too big, the clothing, or there's noticeable wear that you can't check yourself at the beginning, then I find it a very kind of tricky situation. But so I think it is just the case of networking, see what you can find. And I find like if you're doing Depop outside of London and you're in like this random areas that are just not going to saturate with people into fashion, you're going to find the amazing bargains. Like, I hear so many like stories of people going to car boot sales outside of London, just like random spots that just find absolute treats. Like, you'll find your Tommy Hilfigers, you'll find all your kind of Levi stuff, you'll find all your kind of brands that are just like kind of the 90s kind of throwback, like Feelers coming back and Reebok trainers, and just stuff that like people don't really know. If they're not in the know, they won't know, and they won't be selling it for an expensive level unless they go to eBay and they just look how much it's costing, how much they can sell it for. If they don't, and there's a lot of people that are not into it, they just want a quick sell, then that's the best place to go to. So check out your car boot sales, and that's the best thing, is just to get your stock up, get that stock up really high, and just keep doing it daily. And that's the thing, like, I find it is quite, I think once you get into it and you start getting the interest in, and you start getting the likes, and you start getting the positive feedback from the buyers, I find that, you know, you get that drive to do it. Like, I'm quite a lazy person, and I hate myself for it, and it pisses me off I'm such a lazy person, because it's stopping me like progressing. But I have to just, once you start getting that whole like buzz going through, people like starting to like your stuff, and you're starting to get appreciation for things, you feel like, yeah, I'm actually doing something right, and it gives you that drive to like start stocking up, to start getting your shop going, to start, you know, really kind of like boosting your brands. And I feel like with Depop you can go further and further and further. There's a lot of people that are just doing it full time. Like, I'm in a weird situation where I'm kind of done with my job now, and I want to find something I really want to do, like I really want to enjoy, and something I really want to make a business, and actually something I'm really good at, and something that I actually enjoy doing. I think the part of life is just finding something that you really want to do, and there's a lot of people that just fucking tick the boxes, and they're just doing these kind of jobs that they're not interested in, but they're just getting by, and it's just like, I'm just not down that life. I want to do something I really enjoy, and Depop gives you that opportunity to be an entrepreneur if you want to. Like, it will give you the opportunity to stack it up, to stack up the money, to be able to sell your clothes, to be able to get a whole business going, to get a whole business structure. I find like you will be going to the post office a lot. That is something that might be a negative. If you don't like post office, so you can't be asked to post shit all the time, then that is a negative that you just have to deal with. But over time you'll get a system, you'll know the way to do it, you'll know the post offices that are quite quiet to go to. So there's some post offices that have a massive queue, they're fucking nightmares to go to, but you might be able to find one in your town or in your city that's kind of hidden away, and you can just drop off your stuff, and it's a really easy process. But that is something you look out for, that you will have to go to the post office all the time to send off your stuff, and you have to make sure it's regular, you have to make sure you've got tracking. Tracking is so important that it's more motorcycle on eBay, where like people can bring up a case on you, and also people can bring up a case on Depop, where if you haven't got a tracking number, you know, someone can get you for it, and they could even receive it and still get you for it, because you can't track it. The Royal Mail have no proof, Depop have no proof to follow. So make sure you got your receipts, make sure you got all your tracking, make sure you're always advising your buyers if there's any delays coming or when it's coming, keeping them a heads up on things. It's also important when you're writing descriptions to detail what kind of wear, what kind of tear your item is in. Is it brand new? Has it been used? How many times has it been worn? Like sizing as well. I always feel like it's worth just sticking some sizing up, just getting the measurements sorted out. So just do your basic ones. So like for a jacket, it'll just be like armpit to armpit. It'd be the back neck to hem. It'd be the pit to cuff. Like, to just give an idea to the buyer what the kind of sizing is. And also, if you've got a model in the shop, I take pictures of myself. I just use myself as a model at the moment for these kind of pictures, just because it's easier. But it's always good, because people always ask like how tall you are and things like that. So just put that description straight away, and you'll be ready to go. Like, you'll be ready to sell that item without all these questions coming in first. You've got it all there ready to go, and it'll be pretty much covered, and hopefully you'll be able to get a quick sale. There's sometimes with Depop it is negative in the way that people out there get a bargain. Of course they are people going on a bargain, but a lot of times it's a two-way street really, because you've got the things with the sellers. So the sellers on there will sometimes be selling stuff for face value, and you just got to just be realistic with your things. If you're selling stuff, you can't sell it for the full price that you bought it for. Like, you've got to appreciate when you sell second hand, you're going to lose money. Like, I would say that I've lost just over half every time I bought new stuff and I've sold it on there. I've got about 6% back. Like, and it's just to be expected, but it's just the way. It's just a way to like keep money going, keep it circulating, but still make money back on things. So if you're buying stuff, you're always buying and selling, and you're always replacing the new things. So that's how I get new clothes. It's just like I'm just selling my stuff. So I'm always thinking in my back of mind, like, how much could this sell? Is this a big seller? If I put on Depop, is it going to get much attention? Is it going to help my shop in any way? So it's always thinking in the back of my mind, I'm always going to resell things, and I always want to make money back, because I can't think of anything worse than having clothes left on my floor that I haven't touched, I've just left, and they're going to see money. I just see money on the floor, I just see it being away. So I'm always thinking about reselling things. And I think you've always had to have that kind of business brain on you when you're doing the Depop thing. So yeah, I think it's a really good app to check out. Just give it a shot. Throw things for you up there, see what you got. It's even if you've got just a few bits that you've got clogging up your room at the moment, or you've got some clothes that you just don't wear anymore, and you want to make some money. It's a cheap way to do it. You do lose some money on the fees of Depop, but if you have got a lot of clothes you're putting up, then you will make your money back, and you will start to see a noticeable profit. So there's some tips on Depop. Next video I'm going to go through the negatives, and I'll go through some more pros as well, and also some tips on how I sell things on there. If there's any questions on Depop that you have, give me a shout. My shop is called Jammy, and yeah, my tag from just what I mentioned before is @JamesFrancis_SS. Check out my shops, give you some ideas on what I did and how I developed my shop. And I'm on kind of 6,000 plus followers, but there's people on there that are 250,000. So there's a lot of work I've still got to do. There's a lot of grafting I've got to do, to use a Love Island term there. But yeah, it's worth it. You'll enjoy it. It's if you're into fashion, I think it's the way forward. It's great for buying. It's great for selling. It's a great community. So yeah, check out Depop. That's my video. So I shall see you later.